Welcome to Anchors My Way, a podcast brought to you by Into Cruising. I'm your host, Shakira, and I'm here to take you on an exciting journey through the world of cruising. Whether you're an experienced cruiser or just planning your first trip, I've got something for you. Thank you for joining me today, and let's get started. Welcome back, Into Cruisers. I'm your host, Shakira, and you're tuned in to another episode of Anchors My Way, your insider pass to cruising MSC style. Last week, we kicked off season 3 with the concierge era, where I shared my real experience and gave you that behind the scenes perspective from the eyes of a concierge. Today's episode is all about something big that MSC is bringing us. The MSC Seascape is making her move from Miami to Galveston, Texas this November. So this milestone for MSC Cruises will be the line's third home port in the U.S. after Miami, New York, and it's going to open up so many possibilities for guests in the middle of the country who have been waiting for this. We're going to cover everything. Why does this move matters? What makes Seascape such a special ship? And how to get to the home port, where to park, where to stay, and before and after your cruise. So I've got all the details. Stay tuned. And of course, my concierge tips for a smooth, stress-free sailing. So Into Cruisers, grab a drink and settle in, and let's dive in. First, let's talk about why this move is such a big deal for MSC. Galveston has been steadily growing as a cruise hub. It's easily accessible for millions of travelers across Texas, Oklahoma, Louisiana, and even Midwest. Now, most of the options out of Galveston were limited to Carnival, Royal Caribbean, and Disney. But now, MSC is bringing something completely different. Yes, they're in for a real perk. So let me tell you about MSC Seascape. This ship is part of the Seaside Evo class. Think of her as an evolution of the Seaside design. She's about 170,000 tons and can carry nearly 5,900 guests. This ship feels modern, stylish, and very Mediterranean in its personality, from the artwork to the dining. Some of the highlights are the atrium, glass walls, live music, and those sparkling Swarovski crystal stairs that make every photo look glamorous. The infinity pool and bridge of sights, the glass floor bridge that gives you that breathtaking view straight down to the ocean. Don't look down if you're afraid of heights. And of course, the main attraction on this ship, it's Robotron, the robotic arm-thrilled ride that swings you high over the... You can actually also pick your music on this experience. You also have other things like the Cora Theaters, where the nightly production shows happen with Broadway-style performances. And of course, our baby, the Yacht Club, for those who want private, all-inclusive retreat within the ship. And of course, when she sails out of Galveston, her 7-9 Western Caribbean itineraries will visit Cozumel, Costa Maya, Roatan, and the stunning island of Ocean Cay Marine Reserve, MSC's private islands in the Bahamas. So if you've cruised from Galveston before, prepare for something very different. This ship brings a global vibe right to Texas. Let's get into the part that really matters: how to get to the port and where to park. The Port of Galveston is located at 2702 Harborside Drive, Galveston, Texas, and the MSC will be operating from the brand new Cruise Terminal 16. If you're driving, the best route to take is 5 South all the way down to it literally ends on Galveston Island. Once you cross the Causeway Bridge, follow the harbor side about 5 miles east to the port area. You'll see signs for the cruise terminals on your right. Parking options on the Port of Galveston. The easiest and most convenient is to secure well-lit and directly across from the terminal. You can prepay online for discounts. Free shuttles run every 5 to 10 minutes. Easy cruise parking. Popular among locals, they offer both covered and uncovered options. If you book online, you can request early check-in, so your space is guaranteed. There's also Falstaff cruise parking I read, located a few blocks away, often the most budget friendly. Great for longer sailings if you're staying nearby the night before. If you're flying in, choose Hobby Airport over George Bush International Airport. Hobby, it's only 45 minutes away and much smaller, which makes baggage and shuttle pickup faster. Shuttle companies run from both airports. The Galveston Express Island Breeze Shuttle and the Galveston Saltwater Moms shuttle services are also reliable, so I've heard. So let's start with my concierge tips for this particular trip. Always add at least 30 minutes to your estimated drive. The causeway can get backed up, especially on Saturdays when multiple ships are boarding. Cruise tip number 2. Don't forget the tolls. Some rental cars routes include small toll roads, so keep a card or a few dollars handy. Now, you've probably heard me say this a dozen times. Arrive a day early. Nothing ruins cruise excitement faster than stressing over a delayed flight. Here's my favorite pre-cruise stays in Galveston from what I've heard from customers. Hilton Galveston Island Resort, right on the beach with free shuttle to the port. Great for couples and families who want a pool day before boarding. Nothing relaxes you more than that. There's also the Holiday Inn Resort on the beach, which includes breakfast and is steps away from the water. There's also the Holiday Inn Beach Resort, which includes breakfast. There's also another resort that I've heard of. It's called U.S Seascape. It's family-owned property with ocean views and excellent food. I've also heard of a hotel called the Tremont House, which is preferred by some guests that like historics and upscale. It's part of the Strand District, so you're walking distance from boutiques, galleries, and coffee shops if that's your choice. Many of these hotels have park-and cruise packages where you can leave your car while you're at sea for a huge convenience. Tip number 3, request a late checkout if your boarding isn't until the afternoon. That way you can enjoy the calm morning and keep sitting around and don't have to keep sitting around the terminal too early. Cruise tip number 4, Galveston isn't just a stop on the map. It's a great destination on its own. If you have a day or two before you sail, here's what I would recommend you did. Breakfast at the Sunflower Bakery and Cafe. They've got the best coffees and cinnamon rolls in town. You could also go to the Strand History District, wander through the boutiques, antique shops, and ice cream parlors. Try Le King's Confectionery for homemade saltwater taffy made right in front of you. Amazing, I've heard. Moody Gardens, part aquarium, part rainforest exhibit, part IMAX theater, great for families. You could also do Pleasure Pier, ride the Ferris wheel at the sunset, or just walk the pier for views. There's also Store Beach and East Beach. Bring flip-flops, rent a chair, and soak in that Gulf breeze. And here's a fun idea. If you're into seafood, stop at Gaido's Seafood Restaurant and Katie's Seafood House the night before you sail. Both are Galveston classics and serve up fresh cash from the Gulf. Cruise concierge tip number 4, download the Visit Galveston app before you go. It lists live events, markets, and even free trolleys that loop the island. It's a great perk to have. And it's free. Tip number 5. Now let's get into the fun. Embarkation Day. Woo! We made it to our cruise. All right, cruise morning has arrived. Let's make it stress-free. Check in online with MSC, upload your documents and health info so you breeze through the line. Print your boarding passes and luggage tags before you leave home. Arrive on time. It keeps the line flowing and shortens your wait inside. When you arrive, porters will take your checked bags. Keep small bills for a tip. It always makes them super happy. Then you'll go to security, check in, and receive your MSC cruise card or wristband, whichever one you prefer. Keep a small tote backpack with your essentials: passport, medication, bathing suit, and phone chargers. Your cabin may not be ready until later on that afternoon. Once on board, resist the temptation to run straight to the buffet. Instead, wander, explore the ship while it's quiet. Take photos on the glass, grab a cocktail at the Sky Bar, and really absorb the I'm on vacation moment. When the horn blows and Seascape pulls away from the Texas coast, step out on deck, watch the skyline fade away, and take that deep breath that says, I'm finally here. That's your reset right there. Now let's talk about after your cruise, because your vacation doesn't have to end the minute you disembark. If you're staying another night, visit Galveston Railroad Museum. It's right near the port and makes a fun, quick stop, or drive about 40 minutes north to Keymouth Boardwalk. It's full of restaurants, carnival rides, and water views. Perfect final meal before heading home. If you got extra time before your flight, stop at Murdoch's on the seawall. Grab a souvenir and a frozen drink with a view. Concierge tip number 6. Schedule return flights after 1 p.m. at the earliest. Disembarkation mornings can run late, and it gives you time to travel back without panic. Now let's take a few minutes to really get to know the MSC Seascape, because if you haven't sailed on her, you're in for a treat. The Seascape is part of MSC's Seaside Evo Plus. Think of her as bold, modern evolution of the seaside ships. She was launched in 2022, designed specifically to bring you closer to the sea, and you feel that the moment you step on board. Let's start with her layout and design. She was built with a long open deck and massive outdoor areas. There are 6 pools, including 2 infinity pools that look like they melt into the horizon. One of my favorite spots on board is the infinity pool at the aft. It's calm, peaceful, and it gives you those perfect wake views for sunset photos. The Bridge of Sights, it's another highlight. It's glass floor walkway high above the ship's wake. You can look straight down into the ocean beneath your feet. It's a must visit, specifically if you are a sunset lover. The atrium is stunning. 4 decks high, full of volume, live music, and the Swarovski stairs, of course, shimmer under every spotlight you can find. You'll find a cocktail bar there. A stage for performances and seating, perfect for people watching. Now let's talk accommodations. Seascape has a range of cabins, everything from cozy inside rooms to suites with hot tubs on the balcony. Perks. And of course, there's MSC Yacht Club. The ship's private luxury enclave at the top of it has a luxury of its own. And of course, there's MSC Yacht Club, the ship's private luxury enclave at the top. It has its own restaurant, lounge, pool area, and butler service. And even if you're not sailing Yacht Club, it's good to know it's there. It shows how MSC's designs ships offers something for every style of traveler. Now let's talk about how MSC Seascape is really embracing her new Texas home. Because when MSC said they were moving the Seascape to Galveston, they didn't just bring the ship, they brought the Texas spirit with them. MSC knows that sailing from Texas means bold flavors, warm hospitality, and love for big fun. So they're giving the Seascape some local flair, from the menu to the music to the onboard activities. Let's start with the food. You'll enjoy MSC's favorite pastas, risottos, fresh seafood, and gelato. But now there's a taste of Texas on board too. Expect to see slow smoked brisket, Texas style prime rib, Cajun spiced pork loin, cages, and even sides of roasted corn and poblano peppers for breakfast. They've even added a little Tex-Mex twist. Huevos rancheros, breakfast tacos, and of course, build your own burrito stations as well. And you can't have Texas without the drinks. The bars are mixing up spicy margarita, backyard punch, and even doing bourbon and bacon pairing events. So whether you're sipping Italian wine or Texas whiskey, you're right at home on the Seascape. Now let's talk about the vibe. Because on board Energy, it's also getting a Texas makeover. MSC is adding line dancing classes on board. Yes, you heard that. So grab your boots, your partner, and a few cruise friends and learn how to two-step at sea. There'll be country and southern rock bands, honky-tonk theme deck parties, of course, the big Texas sail away party that kicks off every Galveston sailing. Picture it. The music playing, the barbecue sizzling, and the sun getting over Galveston's Bay, and everyone line dancing on the deck under that orange Texas sky. Now that's how you start a cruise. But don't worry, MSC has lots of global flair. You'll still get the Broadway style shows, the cabaret performances, and the live music around the world. that MSC is perfectly known for. It's the perfect party, European elegance with the Texas heart. And from a concierge perspective, I love what MSC is doing here. They're not changing who they are. They are embracing who they are, where they are. They're saying, we're here in Texas now, and we want you to feel like this ship was made for you. It is still MSC's international sophistication with that warmth, southern welcome that Texas is famous for. So whether you're a brand new cruiser at MSC or you've sailed with them before, this version of Seascape feels like a whole new experience. Don't miss out. It's familiar, it's fresh, and it's exciting. All right, into cruisers, that wraps up today's episode of Anchors My Way. The MSC Seascape isn't just moving to Texas. She's becoming a little Texan herself. From the flavors to the music to the line dancing on deck and that warm southern spirit. MSC is blending the Mediterranean class with the Lone Star charm in the best way possible. So if you've been waiting for a ship that's close to home, but still feel like a world-class getaway, this is it. Plan ahead, book early, and you can arrive a day early to enjoy Galveston's beautiful scenery and activities before you sail. Next week, we're diving into one of the most requested topics from my followers. MSC cabin experiences. We'll talk about Bella, Fantastica, Ariel, and the Yacht Club. What's included, what's worth it, and how to pick the right experience for your cruise time. So make sure that you hit follow and subscribe so you don't miss it. And if you know someone who's dreaming of their first MSC cruise, share this episode with them because that's how we keep growing the MT Cruising family. Until next time, I'm Shakira, your MSC concierge and host. If Anchors My Way, keep sailing your way.